We're going to go in the time machine. Let's try to build a game in AI and go retro. I remember being a kid and playing Oregon Trail in school. Those games were awesome in that they were literally like the most simple interface. We're using modern technology to kind of throw back to a more simple era.
Actually not sure that this will work out, so that's kind of the fun of it, though. You never know what's going to happen. Everything should feel like it's booting up a floppy disk in 1989.
I'm literally like in awe as I sit here watching it.
This is exceeding my expectations.
I'm like staring at my screen like, holy shit, this is really, really good. You ready to play with AI and build some stuff?
Always.
Nice. So for today, I thought what we could do is kind of have a little bit of fun and try to go back in time a bit. And so the idea I came up with was let's try to build a game in AI and go retro. So
bring it back.
That's right, man. That's the theme of this episode. We're going to go in the time machine. Do you remember, this is before my time. Actually, this is before your time, but I remember being a kid and like playing Oregon Trail on like a Mac 2GS or whatever in school as a little kid. Do you remember playing those games?
Mostly Duke Nukem. I remember that was on, for some reason, that game was on the school computers and Doom and stuff like that.
Duke Nukem?
Yeah, it definitely was not a kid's game, so I don't know how it got there, but yeah, it's always been a favorite ever since then. A little more extreme than Oregon Trail.
Yeah, your school must have been much more liberal than mine. You're also younger than me, so that's probably why you never played Oregon Trail. But anyhow, those games were awesome in that they were literally like the most simple interface. All you did was sort of type in kind of what you wanted to do next with your character. Of course, Oregon Trail had like this pixelated graphical interface. We're not going to try to replicate that, but you know, I thought it'd be fun to try to make a game using AI that kind of replicates that. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it. Actually not sure that this will work out, so that's kind of the fun of it, though. You never know what's going to happen. So as everyone knows, we built this in our first episode. It kind of just makes Claude Code prompts. So we're going to make we're going to make our DOS style retro gaming. I don't know if we talked about that, but I think it should be like DOS is like the inspiration. There's big tan computers. So I don't know if there's a fun name that you can think of.
I like floppy DOS.
Let's do that. All right. And then we can say our goal here, and we're going to use plain language. So we'll say, make a DOS style gaming site. Or
should we put DOS inspired?
There we go. Make a DOS inspired site that hosts AI based games that are text based. We want some visuals using technologies like type GPU. That's just something I've learned about recently. So I kind of want some kind of cool visual flair. It's like a way of controlling the graphics in a browser. So I also use that on our unpromptedshow.com, and it kind of has like this cool shader effect. And I don't know, it's very subtle, but I like the idea of having some kind of visual elements.
Okay.
So we love visual elements that are clean. The site should let the user pick between a mystery game, what did we say? A dungeon. Oh yeah,
yeah, Dungeons and Dragons fantasy,
and a puzzle escape room style game. The UI should be fun to pick the game. We won't ever use image assets, so everything should be done via HTML or code. Okay.
Yeah, you could tell it. You could tell it like we want a retro vibe, right? Like I think that was like that's sort of the fun part of this is we're using modern technology to kind of throw back to a more simple era.
Okay. And I'm saying the game should be AI powered by Anthropic models. So we'll connect that at the end because the AI is going to be important. It's going to be kind of like a type your own adventure. I mean, should we say like make the games typing or like everything? I guess we could say like a user can pick from. Let's say like for the games a user can input anything they want or offer them 3 options. So they can pick their course of. I think that'll be way more fun. So they can, if someone doesn't want to type, they can just click and be like, "Oh, do this action."
But I like this, like where it's user prompted. Like the user is basically either typing their input or selecting from like a multiple choice options. Do we need to specify things like, okay, these games should, last approximately X number of, like minutes, or give it some parameters? Otherwise, it could just be.
I'll say 5 to 15 minutes. I think that's more fun because we don't need people going like hours or whatever. That's a good call. The game should last between 5 and 15 minutes, and have a clear defined goal at the start, but don't make them too easy.
If they solve the game, should there be like some kind of splash ending page, like a cool splash ending? I think that probably gives one shot enough of the info that it needs.
I'm gonna say 5 minutes for the games for this, because for the video we can play a game real quick. If they solve the game, add a cool ending screen with epic visuals. Okay. All right, let's hit next. Actually, so when we built this, we want it to be a website. When we built this, it's going to ask us questions coming up here. I actually don't know what it's going to ask, so we'll see what happens here.
Remind me and remind the users. So basically, we put all that in native language into OneShot, and now OneShot is going to spit out the absolute perfect prompt for us to then put into Claude Code. Is that right?
And the goal is to, once Raul puts this in his Claude Code, it's just going to fully be there and kind of be ready to go. And the way it achieves this is through like predefined questions. So it uses your prompt, figures out what kind of app you're making, and then picks relevant questions to show here. So I'm kind of opinionated, and since I know Next.js, I'm going to put that there. You can see this is a bit outdated because it's showing old models. So I'm going to hit not sure yet. So I think in the future, we'll have to update our app so it actually has internet access. How will the API key be handled? The user can paste their API key. Let's do that. I like that. The user can paste an API key, so then anybody can use the app on their own API key.
Explain that to a dummy. So that's basically the Anthropic token. They need to. The user that is going to play the game is going to basically paste their own API key, which is a token essentially, right?
It basically connects your like billing to the app. So just in general, like if you're making a real app, you probably want to do like server side stored. But we're going to, for this, just have it be in the interface. So then we actually publish this to you at home. You can actually put in your API key and it doesn't cost us. But yeah, that's kind of what that does there. And it's funny because I've been thinking that we need to make like a library that people can put in like OpenAI, Anthropic, like any vendor, but we have the same interface in all of our apps. I think that'd be cool. I love this. Which visual effects should we do? CRT shaders. I love that. ASCII art. Yes. Flashing color. Flashing color windscreen.
All right. Yeah. Now let's go with that. We're gonna.
you don't have epilepsy, do you?
Induce some seizures with our windscreen.
I actually like all of these besides the glowing. What do you think?
I like all of them. I think also, Andy, one thing that we could do to improve OneShot is you and I know what we want to pick on these things, but people using OneShot may not. And so we could just say, like, use the suggested, or you suggest, have OneShot suggest which of these items should be clicked.
I could have it all pre-filled out. That's a great idea. Okay, I love that. How should the game text appear on screen? We'll do line by line, like, typewriter with retro beep sound effect. Now, that should be interesting because I believe AI will not generate by itself a beep sound effect. So we'll see what happens there.
What's the other option? Typewriter character by character, which is classic DOS. Okay. I don't even know which one.
That. And then line by line would be like.
Got it. Okay. Whichever. I'm ambivalent on this. So whatever you think will be.
Let's do line by line because I don't know what the sound effect's going to do. We want to have it be as easy as possible.
Okay.
Should the site save any progress? Sure. Type wins in the browser.
Okay.
Well, we'll save the high score in the browser.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing. Does the neither work well on mobile devices? Yes.
Oh man, that's like so cool. Because remember, you used to go to the arcade as a kid, and then when you'd step up to like Galaga, it would say who the high scorer was, and you're like, you had a goal. Then you're like, okay, I'm gonna try and take this guy down.
Like, who is ASS?
That's right.
He's
It was
winning
always
a lot.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so what is it doing? It's writing our final prompt here.
Yeah, so it's kind of saving everything we did here. Yeah, I love this. Everything should feel like it's booting up a floppy disk in 1989. I'll be curious to see how this comes out because I would love to see some cool retro effects. So I'm going to copy this prompt and then I'm going to bring it over to you and then we can get started.
All right, so this is the prompt that One Shot has basically generated. That is, I'm now going to just copy paste entirely. All right, I can get rid of this line, right? We don't need this.
Yep. It says Opus 4.5 in there, like written in there. It's down a little bit, I think. Yeah, right there. It uses the default model. You see where it says it right there?
Yeah.
Just change those to
4.6?
Actually, just that. Yeah, do 4.6. Yeah. This will be an expensive running app. Change Haiku to Sonnet, Sonnet. The word, yeah. And then
Sonnet 4.5?
4.6. Yeah, for Sonnet also. Okay. I think that'll be perfect. Let's do it.
Here we go. Okay, I'm going to allow access to my documents folder. Okay, this might take a minute. What do you think? Like, how long do you think this should take?
Maybe 10 minutes. It's pretty complex.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, see,
this is a big project.
It's like, what are you doing to me? It's basically like they have guardrails because technically you could put a prompt in here that just deletes your whole computer or like installs a virus, you know?
Right.
So it's kind of like verifying that what it's doing. I kind of do what you do. I'm just like, whatever, next. If you trust the prompt, then that's what they're trying to prevent here because they don't want anything crazy going on. I think you can also like in the future episodes we'll mess with it, but I think you can just tell it like allow everything, just go crazy.
In that instance, wouldn't it be safer to set up on like a standalone either cloud server or like a Mac Mini or something like that? So that way you're not messing with your like personal computer hard disk.
In reality, it like that's the safest way. There's also like a sandbox type of environments you can do like that are designed for this. But what we're doing here is fairly safe. I think if you did something more like edit my computer in this way, then it would be like doing a lot of crazy things. Or if you had like a really crappy model that doesn't really know what's happening.
Like quickly chat about like what your experience has been with Claude Code. I mean, my experience, the app that I built back in January, it took about an hour and a half for it to build a like web app that that was like an invoice generator web application. What's been your experience?
Usually 10 to 15 minutes, it'll do whatever you're asking from my experience. I've been using Claude Code from the terminal though, so I don't know if the app itself maybe runs at a different kind of length. It's one thing I kind of don't really understand fully is like how it decides how it can run so long. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been experiencing. And it's pretty good at like, creating a goal and getting there,
Yeah, like this time it's not saying to me like, hey, I need 1 hour and 10 minutes to do this or whatever. Whereas last time I did this, and again, I did it back in January. I was not using Opus 4.6. I was probably using Sonnet. And so
it should be faster, technically.
Opus, right?
Opus should be slower because it's bigger. So that does surprise me that it took that long.
I see. And Sonnet is like the most recent model, but it's like a smaller model.
Over time, like the models compress. So like Sonnet 5 will probably be better than Opus 4.6, but then at that point, they'll probably have a bigger new model,
I was always defaulting to Sonnet, like kind of not understanding that the sizing of the model, depending on the task you're giving it, you may want to use sort of the larger, deeper thinking model that, I sort of didn't know that. I just defaulted to like, oh, let me get the latest and greatest, and that's Sonnet.
I mean, they also probably want to default to like cheaper models for them to run also. I'll share my screen here for a second too. If you're ever confused about an AI model or like what's powerful, this site I use all the time, Artificial Analysis. It's extremely good site, and they're always on top of new models coming out. Usually within like a day or two, there'll be information about how strong the model is. So they basically spend like $1,000 on prompts, and then they analyze kind of what's the strengths and weaknesses of models. But you can see here they have an intelligence index. And Gemini is number 1 on there. Opus 4.6 on its max mode is third. And Sonnet, you can see Sonnet and Opus are pretty close. So that's probably also why Anthropic pushes you there to that model, because it's like way cheaper for them to run, but it's just as good, basically. And you can compare tons of models, but this top area is kind of where I stay when I go here. The speed is also a great kind of thing to look at whenever you're making a customer-facing product. You definitely want to look at the speed of like how fast someone will get answers, because like, Opus is very slow, as you can see here, but it's like very intelligent. But there are models that are a good mix of things, like the Gemini 3.1 Pro. You can see it's faster and it's even more intelligent than Opus. And this is also the price index. So like these are the cheaper models here. So you can kind of see there's kind of like a cohort of like 3 features: price, speed, and intelligence. So that's kind of like the main goal here, is to get a model that's cheap, fast, and intelligent.
So if you're looking for the cheapest, fastest, most intelligent model, what's the answer? What do you like? Which one are you honing in on?
Right now, this GPT OSS 120B, it's pretty old at this point, but it is a really good model right now. It's OpenAI's open source model, so a bunch of providers have that. So it's like usually really cheap and really fast and pretty intelligent. One that's not on here is Grok 4.1 fast. That model is like extremely cheap and very fast and very good at like structured data and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I gravitate towards for like in terms of like the cheap ones. But yeah, I always have. There's also like an invisible thing here that they'll track that we're not seeing in this interface. Like if we go to 4. Or GPT 5.4 here, it tracks like uptime, I think also. I don't know, I might be on this page somewhere, but that's one thing that like as someone who has a consumer facing product, the uptime is like a big thing. Like I moved to Gemini models one time for like an hour and had a bunch of downtime, and I realized like quotas and all that kind of stuff play into part for what you're trying to pick. So there's like a big cohort of what you're trying to pick. And also if you're new to the site, they have a recommendation thing, so you can actually pick like, I want speed as my most important thing, or like intelligence, and it actually like will pick the models based on that, which is kind of cool, and like what kind of features you want in the model. And it kind of like analyzes and gives you the model suggestions here.
So Andy, you and your business partner run a site called Write Blogger. What model backstops Write Blogger? Is that why you're like studying this so closely?
We, unlike a lot of AI companies, we offer unlimited usage. So it is kind of like managing a good balance of like quality versus cost. But right now we use GPT 5.4, which is the newest OpenAI model and like the biggest one they have. So that's just like what I've seen the best results with. There's also a bunch of other benchmarks that are important. That this one's called the Creative Writing Benchmark on eqbench.com. And you can see GPT 5.4 is the top here. This is basically a kind of versus arena style thing that people pick the best model for creative writing. And like Claude, people always say Claude models are good at writing, and you can see that kind of shows here. So this is something very important to me also, because you can see that Grok 4.1 fast I mentioned isn't even on here, or it's like pretty far down. So it's like, that's good at like structured data and being smart, but it's not good at like creative writing. And that's kind of like the important thing that is not really traceable in that other chart from artificial analysis.
If you're helping people write blogs, you need to be using the model that has the best creative writing.
It is like a unmanageable thing, or like uncalculatable thing. People just like will be like, I don't like what it's writing, like they can't pinpoint what's happening or like why, but yeah, it comes down to like a model that's pretty good at creative writing and like the prompting on the back end. This is also another good one. Arena.ai is another great kind of like head-to-head app. And you can see on there, Opus 4.6 is the top model. And a lot of users also write their own benchmarks. And if you have access to like a really good model, you can actually have that simulate the benchmarks. So like you could have a creative writing prompt on 3 models and then have AI actually look at the results and have AI actually pick what's the best and what's the worst,
Okay. So while we were kind of on that, little segue, I was getting a bunch of prompts asking if Claude could access a myriad of different folders. Now it's saying Node would like access to my documents folder, and I'm going to have...
I would hit allow, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you had how it built an app before, but it's it uses most like apps now use Node. It's kind of like a JavaScript server backend.
Right.
So maybe you didn't have it installed before or something like that.
Got it.
Wow, this is crazy. Whoa. Oh my gosh.
Is that our game? Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
Look at that. This freaking preview. That is so cool.
This is
that's dope.
Good Lord.
boot screen
I
is
didn't
working.
know it would have this nice interface here. So yeah, you don't get this in the terminal version.
Oh my God. It literally looks like the green screen on an Apple IIc. Like that was the first computer we ever got as kids. It was a Apple IIc. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's so cool.
Wow, this is exceeding my expectations. Oh, cool. You see what it's doing on the left? It's actually recording screenshots to make sure it looks cool. I'm going to give you an API key to put into it also in a second here.
Okay. Crypt of the Cursed King, Murder at Hollowbrook Manor, and Laboratory Omega. Oh, that's so cool. Flappy DOS. I like the name too. Oh, look, Anthropic API key required. All right, so right now, while it's building, I really don't need to do much of anything except hit allow when it's asking me to have access to various folders and whatnot, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
So
when
if
you're really kind of, getting a lot of feedback while you're doing it, you can like type in other prompts to add into what's happening in there too, like what will happen after and stuff like that. But I think right now it's looking good. I mean, we don't have to actually do any of that.
Right. Because right now it's going to put everything on my local, right? And then in order to publish, I imagine there's a myriad of steps. Or is this going to like take me right through those steps?
I am surprised they haven't made a hosting platform though, because that would be pretty genius. There's obviously tons of apps like Replit and things like that actually kind of do those parts for you. We have a system for the show here, so we'll do that.
Okay.
I'm just amazed how good this looks.
I'm literally like in awe as I sit here watching it. I'm like staring at my screen like, holy shit, this is really, really good.
And you see how it did that shader effect on the floppy DOS, so it's not like hard lines, it's like actually, shaded.
Yeah. Was that because of that selection you'd made?
Yeah, the type GPU thing I think is kind of does stuff like that.
Got it.
Awesome. I love this. In the future, we got to say it's for Unprompted show too, so I can put fun little things like that there.
Yes. Yeah, we could have it. Press any key to continue. Here we go. Okay. I just hit enter. Now I'm popping in my API key. We're using Opus. And then save and continue. Look at that, Andy. We got a working game, man. How cool. All right, so...
Hey, well, we haven't tried it yet.
That's true, actually. It could just fall apart after I click on the next thing. Okay, so we told it to do a murder mystery, a Dungeons and Dragons style thing, and then a puzzle. So it's got all three of those. So why don't we just start with
I love that it actually themed it, too.
How cool. All right, I'm going to click on begin game.
Do it.
Oh, look at that. It's got like the Matrix, dude.
That was one of the settings on One Shot.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Also, One Shot is available on oneshotcode.app, just so everybody knows if they want to try it.
Oh, wow. Look at that. It's got a little bit of an error here. Look.
Let's just see what happens. Maybe. So it has like an open text area and predefined actions.
Yeah, so it's got the predefined actions where I can click on a selector and basically select one of them, or I could just type in, go down the hall and whatever. You can type in free form, but just notice
look out the window.
Yeah, but just notice like here you can see it's repeating the text.
Yeah, you want to fix that on the left side there?
Yeah.
Just say the streaming text for the game. The streaming text for the game is repeating, so I think something is wrong with it. No, so that sounds good. Yeah. I think that's good.
Okay, so it's rewriting. You could see like right here, it just said, let me rewrite the typewriter with a simpler, reliable approach. And now seems to be, is it waiting for me to prompt to say okay?
I think it's doing it.
Oh yeah, look at that. I didn't see this.
So just so everybody knows, like what you just did there cost 3 cents.
Oh, really?
The game. Yeah. Like Opus is extremely expensive.
Hang on. So what I did in terms of entering like the the game type I wanted to play, and having it generate this text cost 3 cents. Like that token, that call to Opus cost 3 cents.
Yeah. It might be because like I bet like behind the scenes this may have set like a kind of goal up, you know what I mean? Like it may have it's probably doing way more than we just saw.
Right. It's building out like the subsequent, sort of screens and actions, like based and kind of gameplay based on whatever I enter next. Meaning it's built out the whole chain of the game, perhaps.
I don't think it's going to do that, but I'm sure it has like the goal defined. We'll see though. We didn't really give it much, definition.
Okay. I am back here, and all right, the app is reloaded and rendered correctly. The fix replaces the broken typewriter. Great. And it tells me, that's cool. Like it gives me like the bug and then the fix. But let's see. Loading flop, press any key to continue. All right, let's go to murder again. Begin game.
Yeah, let's begin.
It didn't ask me to enter the API key again, just so you know.
That's good. So it probably saves it in your local storage. So kind of if you revisit the site. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Oh,
I'm pretty sure this is not part of the game. I'm pretty sure it's like...
Copy all this to chat and be like, now I'm getting weird characters. Oh, wait. I bet it's the thinking tokens showing up because you can see at the end. I would just highlight everything and then copy and paste it. Yeah, like that. It's good enough. Just copy everything. I think it's fine. Just say I'm getting weird characters now in the gameplay and then paste that. It wouldn't be an unprompted without issues.
Well, I mean, it just sort of demonstrates that like that no matter how advanced this stuff is, it still requires like a human in the loop. There's no like, hey, just let it do its thing and you don't have to do anything. I mean, I think eventually it'll get there, but it's not there yet.
Yeah. I mean, it's like as it did screenshots, I'm sure if you told it to like test every step before saying it's done, it would have done better. But it is kind of interesting to see. This feels like the most basic of an issue it could have had. The Matrix thing just... It's good.
But you're right. Like, oh, here we go.
Oh, perfect.
Should we also have One Shot add to its like super duper prompt that Claude should test every single feature of the application that it's building?
That's a good idea. I'm gonna on my end, I'll be updating the app. So
all right, app reloaded cleanly. It looks like it's saying it fixed it. Let's see if we can get this to work. Press any key to continue. Here we go. All right. This is the moment of truth.
Let's see. Here we go. You're now entering the computer.
What do you think? It got it right this time?
I bet it did because it showed okay for that second. There we go. Perfect.
Look at that. I want to go see the crime scene, man. Let's go look at this body. So actually, I don't even need to type one. I can just click here.
Oh, maybe that's too complex to have too many prompts like that showing up, but still, let's see what happens. And we played a very basic game for $100.
That's right. That was it's going to be a very expensive 5 minutes. You push open the heavy oak door of the study. It smells of tobacco, old leather, and something faintly bitter beneath it all. Oh man, the guy's dead. Slumped forward.
You gotta scroll down, I think, a little there. It's kind of glitched out.
Okay.
Oh, turn one. You only have 7 turns.
Oh, I like that. It like put a limiter on this.
This is a good way to actually...
I think it's got to be something about the burned paper fragments. So I'm going to click on that. So we told it, right, Andy? We told it like no more than 5 minutes. So I guess it put a limiter on how many steps or moves you can make.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Like, people don't want to sit here all day playing a text game, And what's cool is we can actually modify this to make the game as long as it should be the user wants it to be.
Okay, look. Oh, when we pulled up the scraps of paper, it showed initials CM or Colonel Marcus. All right, we're going to interrogate Miss Celeste. You know how on the Matrix screen it says AI is thinking? I think we got to change that. To me, that takes away some of the retro feel of this.
It needs to be like ... And it is funny that the AI was like, "Oh, you're making a DOS-inspired game. Do you want it to be Matrix? I can offer you Matrix."
You started shit. Okay. She thinks he was tidying old paperwork. Oh, that's bullshit. She's lying. Okay, so it has something to do with their finances and their books.
So you could do number 3, the investigate the inheritance, maybe.
Let's see. Search the shed. Open the envelope.
I'm curious what will happen if you. I mean, can you just be like, I think it was you or something? Like tell.
Yeah, let's do that. I believe the murderer is Miss
Whose name is it?
Celeste.
Oh yeah.
Morvine.
Let's see. Yeah, the loading screen is just way too crazy. What's cool is we can hook this up to an AI image generator too, and it creates like a little scene of each thing happening. That'd be cool.
You stand in the center of the drawing. Yeah, that would be cool. Oh.
I like how it's like, oh my.
Came over a fail. Well, we almost got there to a clean game.
Wow,
but then
this is actually, I'm incredibly impressed.
It's pretty cool.
Wow. Yeah, it's cool that it like thought of like a whole response too of what you just had there.
I mean, look, I think we successfully achieved retro. Would you say?
Yes, this is I'm amazed. I think that turned out really cool. I can't wait to share this too.
Yeah, this would be great. We got to make a few tweaks, but we could publish this thing and get it out there and see if other folks like playing it as much as we do.
Definitely.
Awesome.
Well, we
Andy.
learned and we laughed and we loved. And we got game over.
Yes, and we accused the wrong person of murder. So, it's all in a day's work, man. All in a day's work. All right. Well,
thank you everybody to watching.
Yeah, thanks to all the viewers. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Andy, for hanging out with me here over some AI chat. And we'll see everyone on the next episode.